Hi, I'm John. I'm outside Mr. Vernon Liechti's classroom. Mr. Liechti is not only a history teacher at Albemarle High School, but he's also the president of the AEA. The Albemarle Education Association advocates for teacher and student rights. I'm here to talk with Mr. Liechti about what is on the horizon for the AEA.
I've heard through my sources that you've done something extraordinary with an extraordinary person. Could you touch on that subject?
Sure. So I recently over the weekend got engaged to my girlfriend of 9 years. And I always joked around to my students since I've been at Albemarle that if I ever did get engaged, I'd let them know in the morning announcements. So I'm glad you asked that question.
On the subject of your engagement, when you asked her the question, was she surprised, and how exactly did you do it?
My boy! Woo!
So yeah, like I said, we've been joking around about this for like the last 9 years and everything, and so the stars finally kind of aligned. So she had already like picked out the ring and everything, so we knew it was kind of coming. But I proposed by doing something that I never usually do. So I baked something. I baked her a cake, a butter cake, which is one of her favorites, and spelled out in butter the message. So she was quite surprised when she came home and saw that, and then she turned around and I was on one knee with the ring. So yeah, it was very nice, and we had a really good time, and the cake turned out pretty well for the first time baking. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Can you briefly describe what the AEA does and how you first got involved?
Yeah, so the Albemarle Education Association, or the AEA, is the local union for school employees. We basically get involved as a way to kind of help advocate for one another, protect each other. If we need any liability issues to deal with, the union will come and support us on that. And ultimately, we're working right now to make teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, educational support professionals, just make the job better for us, because our working conditions are students' learning conditions. So that's a big thing we feel is important to help advocate for ourselves, students, and their families.
Great. So what is collective bargaining, and why do teachers want it?
Okay, so collective bargaining basically allows employees to come together to basically negotiate their contracts. Right now in Virginia, they recently passed a law that gives public service workers like teachers and drivers and everybody the opportunity to negotiate their contracts, but only if they are together in a group. So we're working right now to get everybody together so we can get a petition going to get that benefit that we feel is necessary to help make things better for everybody. And ultimately, we just want a voice at the table, because if you're having any sort of contract, it's very, very important to have a say in what goes on.
What do you see as the biggest challenge for Albemarle teachers coming back in the fall? And what is the AEA going to do to meet those challenges?
So one of the biggest challenges we're going to be facing is, just figuring out how we're going to maneuver reopening in the fall, because we're not sure exactly what the safety protocols will be, the safety metrics. We're going to be having way more students probably coming into the buildings. So safety is kind of our number one priority. We want to make sure everybody is following the metrics to the letter, making sure students and their families and teachers and every worker in the building is protected in regards to the safety metrics and everything like that. And then that also will include making sure we have smaller class sizes, because not only is that a safety metric that needs to be followed, but it also helps out students. Studies have shown across the board, having a teacher with smaller class sizes is really, really beneficial for the students' learning and growth, because the teacher can spend more time on the individual students and help them out on whatever types of learning strategies would be best for them. So yeah, safety protocols, smaller class sizes, and ultimately, like I said before, we want to make learning conditions good for everybody. So that's kind of our big push that we're working towards.
Mr. Liechti, thank you again for taking this time to conduct this interview, and I'm glad all the people that come to watch these interviews are going to be glad to know what the AEA is all about.
Thank you so much for showing an interest.
Thank you for watching ATown today. I'm John Houlihan, and I'll see you next time.